All right, everyone. So I did kind of a short video on Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Tarbosaurus, but I figured let's go into Toro versus Tarbosaurus as well and do a bit more of a breakdown on T-Rex versus Tarbo, because it was really only a 1 minute video. Not much time to break it down, obviously, but right here, first we have Tarbo versus Toro. Now that was the exact same animation Taro did to push down Rexy. I was like, is this just going to be, they've rigged the animations to do the exact same thing? So I was kind of expecting at the end of this battle, because I saw the T-Rex versus Tabo fight before I saw Tabo versus Toro. So I was like, is Toro going to stand on top of the Tabo after knocking it over like the T-Rex did? Imagine that, the tiny little Toro standing on top of a defeated Tabo. That would have been just so funny. But it kind of ended differently, and I should have expected it to, but I was like, they've rigged it to have the exact same animation, so I would expect them to have a Toro on top of the Tabo, but at the same time it would be weird. But then, as you can see below, Toro kind of like, Tabo roars at it, and then Toro's like, oh, tail between the legs, scared. It backs off, so, poor Toro, he doesn't really, I mean, what were the chances anyway, right? I mean, we saw in Fallen Kingdom, a Carnotaurus just obliterated by a T-Rex, like, chomped on, stepped on, so I don't really think Toro stood much of a chance against Tabo, which is almost the exact same size as the T-Rex. Obviously, like, Tabo in this universe, it's not paleo accurate, so it could be as big as the T-Rex. It's meant to be smaller, Derry said that, but there have been pictures in the Tabo versus T-Rex fight where they're like about the same height, and people are even like, the spikes make Tabo look bigger, so it's a bit weird, But yeah, basically people are like, wait, how are you getting Toro versus Tabo and then T-Rex versus Tabo? Like, what did you do to do that? Well, below I'm playing the T-Rex versus Tabo, which was my favorite part of the episode. That was the first thing I made a video on. I knew I have so many Rexy fanboys on my channel, I cannot reiterate it. T-Rex, #1 search term, and I did a poll yesterday, it's like, who would win, Rexy or Mosasaurus? Like, it's a no-brainer, right? Mosasaurus is massive, it would win. You have 90% of the people out of the however many thousands voting, right? So it's at least, I don't know, close to 1,000 people who have voted Rexy would win against Mosasaurus, right? Like, what? No, that does not make sense. But here, the T-Rex versus Tabo. I mean, yeah, that's right. It was so good because it was the first time Rexy got a solo kill without the help of another dinosaur. I don't care if you say the campers distracted Tabo, right? They didn't really do anything to Tabo. They didn't hurt it or anything, right? So T-Rex basically, even though T-Rex got knocked over, that's Tabo's fault for getting distracted. Like, T-Rex isn't distracted by the campers, right? T-Rex is focused and on point. Yeah, right? You've got to blame all the other carnivores for being constantly distracted. Like, Giga, it was distracted by Therizinosaurus, that's its fault. I'm not saying, because T-Rex still needed Therizinosaurus' help to win the fight, so, but basically, yeah, that was basically the first time Rexy stood up to an apex predator on her own and took it down. So a lot of the fanboys are happy. But basically, how do you get the Toro versus Tabo outcome? Well, it's simple, really. What you've got to do is, once you're in the raptor paddock, right? It doesn't matter if you bring Bumpy or you leave Bumpy. It doesn't matter. You survive both outcomes. But there's two different things. Blue gets to see her sisters for the last time on the camera, but doesn't seem to care. I'll do a better video on that. And then Bumpy versus Blue, which I'll also do a better video on that, a more descriptive video. But after that, you get to choose, do I want to go to Main Street or do I want to go in the tunnels, security? And it's kind of how all of Jurassic works. Like, you think of Jurassic Park 3, right? The first time they encounter Spinosaurus, they get followed around by it for ages. So if you pick Main Street, you encounter T-Rex, it's going to follow you around for the rest of the episode. But you see Toro in the tunnels. you don't see Rexy. So Rexy's not going to follow you because Rexy hasn't encountered you in that episode. Or that timeline, that series of events, if you pick the tunnels. However, Toro will be on your scent and will follow you. I assume it's because they've smelt the eggs of Darius and they're like, yummy turbo eggs. I want to eat some turbo eggs. But yeah, basically, if you pick security, make sure not to get eaten by Toro, obviously. Then you go to the Brachio event and it will remember that you've picked Toro. Make sure to bump the dino. Do not bump the gyrosphere, otherwise you'll get stepped on by the Brachiosaurus. Then you'll be in Hidden Adventures. Make sure to do the car getaway and not the roller coaster, because if you do roller coaster, you won't get a dinosaur fight at all. You get to see Tarbosaurus knock down a Rexy statue. That's not really the same thing, is it? No. I mean, it kind of was. I got a lot of views on that video. That's actually one of the highest viewed Hidden Adventures videos of this week on all channels, like across YouTube. So thank you all very much for that. That was very good. It's very close to 50,000 views, so thank you. But yeah, so I mean, I do appreciate that. But you want to do the car getaway where you'll come across animatronics such as the Tyrannosaurus. I love that. I don't know if I should do a video on it or not, because you know I love Tyrannosaurus so much. It was just a shortcoming. Maybe I'll do a ranking of all Tyrannosaurus appearances in the Jurassic saga. But yeah, then you come across the Baryonyxes. Make sure not to die to Turbo. You want to don't pick the exit. Continue along the path of the car getaway. And yeah, once you do that, I believe Kenji saves Darius. And then Turbo comes out of the bushes, looks at them, and then you hear a roar. And it's either going to be Rexy if you pick Main Street, or it's going to be Toro if you picked the tunnels, which is what I'm telling you to do. Although, well, just for this, if you want Toro, because I do like the Rexy versus Turbo fight more. I'm a bit biased to that because lots of Rexy fanboys got their happily ever after. They got to watch Rexy solo another Apex Predator, and I really appreciate that. And then yeah, you get to watch Toro versus Turbo. So I really enjoyed that. But yeah, if you want Rexy versus Turbo, pick Main Street, obviously. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. What did you guys think? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and yeah, that's about it. I'll see you later. Bye everyone.